Hello, everybody. My name is Don Collins.
And I'm Lewis Thompson.
And I know it's been a while, but the Can't Be Stopped duo is back just in time to debate. Not, you know what? Not even debate today, Lou. We just got to talk.
This is a different episode. It's a different type of thing. We just got to have a conversation about what's going on.
Definitely, because, look, it's been some craziness going down in the media these past couple days. We have to address this. It's only right.
Yeah, there's a couple small things that's going on. Nothing too major though.
Right.
I say.
I mean, I guess it starts with the man who is in office at the White House. He said some questionable things. Starting with the whole calling NFL players SOBs and saying that they should be fired instantly if they decide to protest, which, they have the right to protest injustices going on,
Correct.
I don't understand how someone who is claiming to be, because I say claim because he's not exactly holding the position down well, claim to be the leader of the free world, can get away with using such just unprofessional language, first off, but then saying stuff that is putting down an entire group of players. Like, he's not just talking about Cap. Obviously that's the frame of reference. He's not just talking about the players that have, also protested in support of Cap, which would be another wrong. He's talking about all NFL players here and saying that any of them who decide to exercise their constitutional rights are now sons of you-know-whats. And don't deserve to be in the NFL. And he's calling the NFL owners to action. So, you go ahead, because I'm getting a little heated.
Where do I start? I think let's start with one. I'd like to applaud the reaction, especially of LeBron James, and especially of Chris Paul today. They both came out immediately after the comment kind of hit the fan. And on top of the Warriors had declined to go to the White House to celebrate their championship, along with the Warriors.
Not the
today,
Warriors
also.
Totally. Just Steph Curry said that. And
you're right.
Obviously,
You're
Durant
right.
has said that too.
Steph Curry had declined, and Kevin Durant had declined. So Donald Trump then on Twitter said that, well, if he's wishy-washy about it, I will just rescind my invitation.
Because that's what we want. That's what we want him to do, right? That's what we want him to do. Be on Twitter, putting this out to the world. Okay, all right.
Yep. So Donald Trump had taken away the invitation for the Warriors to go to the White House, and now the North Carolina basketball team that won the NCAA Men's Championship last year had declined to go to the White House. So that is now 0-for-2 on championship teams to go to the White House.
Wait.
And
Can we discuss how he came out, rescinded the Warriors' invitation, which the White House is the people's house, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just go in and do what you want, but if Steph Curry wants to go to the White House, I'm pretty sure he can arrange a meeting to go to the White House. I'm just saying.
Steph Curry's already been to the White House, just for reference.
Right.
When
just
Barack Obama was there.
But
yes.
Why did Trump decide to make a big deal about Steph declining to go? Tom Brady declined to go. I know the Patriots haven't bashed, the president. Excuse me, they haven't bashed Trump as the Warriors have. Steve Kerr has had some choice words. Steph Curry now saying this. Durant saying, we don't rock with you in so many words. But at the end of the day, it's their right. It's their choice. And I think this is just a long list of things that is established that Trump cannot just be the bigger person. He cannot handle himself in a way that is conducive to building peace. And I just because someone disagrees with you doesn't mean you have to call them out of their name, put them down, rescind invitations to something that, as LeBron said, was a great honor before he was in the office. But
right.
My issue, I guess, really is that the difference between the NFL and the NBA. In the NBA, you look at it these guys are expected to do these things. The social responsibility for NBA players, they're so in tune with what's going on. Not that NFL players aren't, but it's acceptable, it feels like. Whereas Kaepernick, the guys, the men from the Browns, a couple other defensive players, the Seahawks protest that
Seattle
they did.
Seahawks.
They do stuff like that, and it's like condemned, it's shunned. It's oh my goodness, how could you do this? How could you disrespect America, the flag? And it's in the NBA, like they're celebrated for it,
Mm-hmm.
And in the NFL, it's just a difference. But what I want to say is that, I saw a tweet today, and it said, "Do not allow racists to reframe hashtag taking a knee as being a debate about the anthem and the flag. It's a protest of police brutality and racism." Because I think that's lost on people in America. These people, Cap didn't take a knee because he didn't like the flag or he didn't like the anthem. Oh, no. Don't get it twisted. He took a knee because there's injustices going on in our society, and he felt like he's giving a voice to the voiceless, a face to the faceless, a name to associate with the fight against this injustice. And so to frame it as he's disrespecting the flag, he's disrespecting the anthem, he's disrespecting America, it ain't about that, okay? It ain't about the flag, it ain't about the anthem. If you can't see that, then what we having this discussion for? Because at the end of the day, Colin Kaepernick did what he did because there's innocent people being killed. There's innocent people being discriminated against. There's regular, everyday people that are being put down for what? And he didn't do that for a color. Yes. Did he say there's people of color? There's black people? You're absolutely right. But he did that for everybody. Because that's what this is all about. It's not just about let's get black people and put them above white people. Let's get Mexicans and put them above black people and white people and Asians. No, it's about let's all have something to have in this country. Have equality, okay? So at the end of the day, people are framing it as such as this and that. The NYPD stood with Kaepernick. They supported Kaepernick. It done got so twisted and screwed up. They talking about the Black Lives Matter, hates police and all that, the Blue Lives Matter. No, it's about us all coming together and being people, okay? And that, look, I know I done got up on my soapbox today because I got an issue with what Trump said, all right? He said, after his comments about these SOBs, he said, but do you know what's hurting the game more than that? And he was talking about the ratings being down, the softness of the NFL. He said, when people like yourselves turn on television and you see those people taking the knee when they're playing our great national anthem, the only thing you could do better is if you see it, even if it's one player, leave the stadium. I guarantee things will stop. Just pick up and leave. Not the same game anymore anyway. Now, Lou, I'm going to let you get back to talking because I know I done kind of got on a little rant here. But I got to say this.
Oh, you fine.
I got to say this. Look, for all the people out here that are not, a minority in America, let me tell you one thing. One piece of advice. Don't you ever use the phrase, those people. Those people. What does that mean? What does that mean? Those people. Because guess what? I'm one of those people, right? I'm a minority, right? I'm black, right? Does that mean that I'm afforded different opportunities than somebody else because of the skin tone? It shouldn't be that way. What does he mean, those people, when those people take a knee? Because it was a white man in the Cleveland Browns that took a knee. Okay? There's NYPD officers standing with Kaepernick that were white. There was some that was black. There's people that standing with Kaepernick. What does those people mean? In America, we supposed to be coming together. And our leader, our supposed leader, is using divisive and derogatory terms like that. And then let's talk about our great national anthem. I thought America was supposed to be the land of the free, the home of the brave. I tell you what, right now, Colin Kaepernick and the rest of the NFL players have more bravery and expressing more of their freedom than Donald Trump ever has and ever will, because he's so much of a coward that, like Chris Paul said, he won't dare say that to an NFL player face. Why? But he can say it in Alabama. Why? What again? Those people. When he talking about those people, then he suggests people should leave the stadium, pack up and leave. Why they gotta pack up and leave? The ratings are down because people aren't tuning in. The game, look, there's some, the game this year has been, it seems a little off. The playing hasn't been as crisp. But
no. Hold on. Let's be 100% transparent. The quality of play in the NFL is terrible right now.
Definitely terrible.
I've watched at least 7 games that I'd say, and I understand it's early in the season. You got to get your legs under you, get into a feel of the game.
Nah,
it's just unacceptable.
It's been a month, bro.
I've seen quarterbacks make poor decisions, can't hold the ball, fumbling, interceptions. I've seen defenses with super blown coverages, just letting the other team run past. I've seen coaches make stupid mistakes. I've seen everything in the NFL that we're not supposed to expect for this high quality premium
the best.
America game, right? We call it America's game now. It's not even baseball. And this is America's game. You know what? I think it's perfect that football is called America's game right now. You know why?
It's a reflection of everything going on in this country.
Because look, just like in America, we look at like the position of quarterback. It's a superstar, man. If that quarterback has 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, it's like, oh my gosh, the best guy. That's the number one guy. That's who we all want to be like, right? But if you look at the rest of the team, I'm trying to find the best word. It's just pathetic. A year ago, almost, Colin Kaepernick took his knee, right? And he fought for injustice about police brutality specifically.
Right.
We have had so many conversations about whether taking the knee is right or wrong, about whether should he be playing in the NFL or not.
Wait. Not to cut you off, but I want to clarify some things. People probably who've been paying attention know that, to get our debates going, we took stances on the Colin Kaepernick thing. And,
absolutely.
Remember what I said when I started. I don't want to clear this up for people who may say that, oh, Don is flipping up. He thinks this, he thinks that. I have thought that Colin Kaepernick can be on an NFL roster. I have been trying to justify why it was a football decision. And I know that, on air, I've had to say things that have been kind of blind to the fact that it's not just a football decision. Nothing is just a football decision in this case. But now, since our little social experiment is over, what Donald Trump said really just put it in perspective for me. Because if it was just a football decision, I can live with that. Okay? I can live with that. Not calling out any NFL owners, because Lord knows I do not want to get involved with these billion dollar entities. But I will say this. They're his friends. Not all of them. But some of them are. Some of them are at his private ranch. His membership.
At his golf outings.
Okay. You are the company you keep. I'm not saying anything. Do not get this twisted. I'm not saying anything about the NFL owners on a personal level, on anything like that. But Louis, you know how it is. If I go around hanging around a certain group of guys, the group of guys that may not necessarily be presentable in the common, quote unquote America, I get judged. I'll get judged. People I've been hanging with, my whole life. That's my posse. Since we're gonna bring stuff in like that. That's my crew, right? Mm-hmm. Donald Trump and the NFL owners, if they're friends, he says things like this. Why am I to believe that they don't share similar ideals? I'm not saying that that's true, but you are the company you keep.
Look,
you are the company you keep.
Every man speaks for themselves, but in the same light, Colin Kaepernick was not signed because of thoughts that his girlfriend expressed about the Baltimore Ravens. Why should we not expect that what Donald Trump's statements recently that reflected the NFL owners' stance on what they believe about this protesting, what they believe about the NFL players' right they believe to go against what's going on in society. But I want to really get back to what I was saying before about Colin Kaepernick and taking that knee, and about how there have been a lot of different discussions going on. But where have been the most important one at? Where have been the discussion about what actions are going to change?
Yeah. What are we going to do going forward?
Because look, so like it was all cool, hunky dory, right? It's like, oh well, it couldn't happen to any one of us, so I guess we'll just put it aside till it affects us. About a month ago, correct me if I'm wrong, though, was the Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor fight, right, Don?
Yeah, Floyd and Conor. Yep.
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
in Las Vegas. And another NFL player had an incident with the police.
Oh yeah, Michael Bennett of the Seattle Seahawks.
Absolutely. Now, Michael Bennett says, and with video proof, that he was handcuffed and harassed by the police of Las Vegas because they suspected him to be a potential culprit.
Little backstory.
In an event going on.
He was running because there was gunshots, and he said it in his own words, scared for his life. Because who wouldn't be in that scenario? But then to be detained, held down, cussed at, everything going on around him like this, to go from being fearful for your life to actually being fearful for your life from the people who are supposed to protect you. But hey, that's how they get down.
I think it's just really interesting to me that we're not taking any action. I'm not trying to say we, as in me and you, or the people, or you listening to this. I'm just saying the people of power, the owners, even the players, where the stance, where the change. Support your brothers, right? The NFL has a stance about supporting the shield, protect the shield, right?
Yeah.
What about the people on the field, man?
Now look.
What about the Michael Bennett? What about the Colin Kaepernicks? Where the unified stands by every NFL player to say we are not having this anymore?
But look,
they are slandering and bashing their name, dragging it through the dirt.
And this is just the key thing that I got from Donald Trump's statement. He encouraged fans to just leave. Just leave. Don't first off, their fans are not paying attention. They're not coming to the games already just because of the climate surrounding the NFL. Like I believe this is negatively affecting the NFL. All the protests, the domestic violence cases, everything that's negative publicity is affecting their bottom dollar. Their ratings are down. You see people are not watching football as often because the product on the field also isn't as good either. But he's encouraging fans to leave. That's one thing. How about the players leave? What is the NFL without the players? Am I going to see Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones catching passes? What is the NFL without the players? So he called them. He said, and I quote, I'm not going to say it for real. He said, "Get that SOB off the field right now. He's fired. He's fired." All right, bet. If I'm an NFL player, that means every last one of them should be protesting, and let's see if they all get fired. It's like they can't. It's like if the entire group of players decides to do something, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen then? Because they together, right? They brothers, right? We a band of brothers, all under the NFL shield, right? So let's see what happens if the players stop playing. Because you saw what happened when the NBA, when the players didn't want to play. You saw what happened the last time the NFL players got locked out. What happened? They have the power. Whether the owners want to admit it or not, they have the power. The game can't be played without the NFL players. Yes, it can, I guess, theoretically. But do we want to see scab players again? I don't want to. I barely want to watch the NFL right now the way the game's being played. We got Jacoby Brissett's and Scott Tolzien's. No disrespect to them, but they're not Andrew Luck, and it shows.
I think that shows a clear difference between the NBA and the NFL. I think the NFL put themselves in the position to feel like they don't have control.
Well, their collective bargaining is inferior. In the NBA, sure, they were making most of the money.
Right. Let's just look at it for a second. NFL players are so quick to have so many problems that go on. Like, they don't, like, the guaranteed money they make is inferior to basketball. The player security is inferior. I mean, your health is at line literally every play.
More so than any other sport since the gladiators.
There was literally just a study done that showed 99% of the participants in the study had cases of CTE. And we just saw where Aaron Hernandez had advanced stages of CTE.
At age 27.
27. Like, just put that in perspective. At 27 years old, your brain's already degrading.
That means in 6 years, if I would, the potential for me in 6 years to display violent tendencies, to then kill myself because of a brain injury that I didn't even know I had. I think that's scary. And the NFL is in a nice, precarious position right now, and they don't need anything else to hurt them. And these Donald Trump comments definitely do not help their case, at least among, it shouldn't among minorities. It shouldn't. I don't know how it can, because if you look at it, at the end of the day, the athletes are black. The coaches may not be black, but they've been mentors, they've been leaders of predominantly African American men for as long as they probably have been coaching. So I would find it hard pressed to be a leader of a locker room and you feel some type of way about minorities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in a sport,
sorry, go ahead.
A sport that's dominated primarily by minorities, I don't understand how comments like these are deemed acceptable by the owners. I'm not saying that they do think that, but I believe that a statement from Roger Goodell that doesn't even explicitly name, he kind of, it was like a veiled shot. Like, and I can respect it because he did put out something, and I do like that they did put something out, but this is not a good look for them. And it's just it's a long laundry list of, issues that I have with the NFL.
Yeah, so let's talk about what you want to see then. Because I have some ideas of things that I'd really like to see then. If the NFL really wants to stick it to Donald Trump and show that's not what they think, this is what I think need to happen. But if you have any thoughts, I want you to go first. Because mine are pretty bold.
You know what? I'll go first when I say this. Is that on Can't Be Stopped, I have been trying, like I said, to justify football decisions. Because at deep in my heart, I think it's always about the sport. I would, as much as I love to talk, I do not want to spend my 30 to 40 minutes on Can't Be Stopped talking about politics. Because I want to talk about the sports. Mm-hmm. But Donald Trump has made it so incredibly easy for me to bring politics and sports together today. So for my bold statement, I want Colin Kaepernick on an NFL roster. Wherever Colin Kaepernick goes, because I expect him to be on a roster. I demand him to be on an NFL roster for the culture. Okay, at this point, for just the symbolicism itself, I want Colin Kaepernick on an NFL roster, and I will buy his jersey wherever he goes. Wherever he goes, I will own a Colin Kaepernick jersey, because at the end of the day, it's bigger than the game now. Athletes have a social responsibility to do their, to speak out on stuff that they deem unacceptable. And he did just that. And I agree that if it's a football decision and you can justify it, he shouldn't be on the roster. But it's clearly not a football decision anymore when you have the POTUS, speaking out against NFL players as a whole over a flag when it's not even about the flag itself. It's about everything the flag stands for. The anthem is supposed to represent the greatest country in the world. The opportunities that are afforded to us in America, the freedoms that we are afforded to. People live and die every day for these freedoms in America. And certain people weren't getting it. And people who aren't getting the same rights as everybody else, they have no way of fighting for that except to just go pick up their lunch pails every day, go about their lives, protest if they choose to protest, work their butts off if they choose to do that. And Colin Kaepernick, making millions of dollars to play NFL quarterback, decided, hey, I'm going to give a voice to the voiceless. And I respect him for what he did. That I always have, I always will. But at the end of the day, it's time for him to get back on the roster. If the NFL is serious about distancing themselves from the comments made by Donald Trump, I need Colin Kaepernick on the roster. Plain and simple. And you can hear that right now. On Ion Sports, Don Collins will be purchasing a Colin Kaepernick jersey wherever he goes. Book it.
You said something about football decisions, right? And I do not mean to make it by any means another Colin Kaepernick versus the NFL, whether football said they're not. But I know for a fact now that it's no longer about football decisions. Because when Ray Lewis came out a couple weeks ago and said, we were trying to get him signed, but because of his girlfriend's tweets, we didn't sign him, that's when I knew it wasn't about football. And I understand what she had tweeted out about Ray Lewis and his relationship with the owner of the Baltimore Ravens in correlation with the relationship of Samuel L. Jackson and Leonardo DiCaprio in Django Unchained. It's definitely not appropriate. But I know it's not the same situation, but if we put aside things like when Riley Cooper called another man the N-word at a public concert and they gave him a slap on the wrist, and even his whole team forgave him for that, including the star quarterback at the time, Michael Vick, I don't think it's about football decisions anymore, and I don't think it ever was. But I want to make my bold prediction about what I'd like to see from the NFL tomorrow, being Sunday.
Appropriate.
I want the entire NFL to boycott.
Boycott. Everybody?
I don't want any players to show up tomorrow.
Look. If just one team does that, I would be impressed. I could see one unit on a football team doing that. Could you imagine if the Legion of Boom doesn't show up to work tomorrow? Because that's who comes to mind for me.
They offense already don't, so.
I mean, might as well just let the defense take a day off.
So look,
at the end of, yeah, you're right.
I know I said it's not going to happen. There's a lot of money those men need to make, and sometimes when you're a man, you have to do what you got to do to support your family, take care of your building, things like that.
Yeah,
this is what I want to happen.
Food out their families' mouths.
Right. This is what I want to happen. I want all the minority players especially, but I want all players, pull your money together. Sit out games until we see a difference. See a difference in your collective bargaining agreement. See a difference in getting the rights you deserve on the field and off the field. And see a difference in the way that our quote-unquote president acts towards the players. I want to see change now. I don't want to put this aside. I don't want to wait till another incident happens, till another quote comes out next week on Twitter. I want to see change tomorrow. And, I mean, I don't expect it to happen. I expect tomorrow to go on. I expect a couple of teams to have unity, take a knee, link arms. But I don't expect anything too crazy, and I think that's the saddest part.
Well,
that I don't expect anything to change. God, I hope so. I pray. I hope I see change tomorrow, especially out of the faces of the league, the Aaron Rodgers, the Tom Brady's, Cam Newton, especially Cam Newton.
Look,
I want to see something.
I don't expect anything. At the end of the day, this is gonna be my final thoughts on this. At the end of the day, no one is saying that the people of America have to agree with the kneeling for the anthem. No one is saying that the people of America have to agree with Steph Curry declining the White House invitation. All it is about is that people understand. At the end of the day, just understand, hey, you may not be the person to kneel for the anthem. That may not be your thing. You don't have to. But you can understand where Cap is coming from. You can understand what he's doing it for. You can be sensitive. You can be sympathetic, empathetic. You can be a human being on the subject. But when the leader of our country sets an example, as he did, condemning the players who are condemning the society, which condemns them, all right? He sets the precedent. There are people who is going to justify what they say and what they do with what Donald Trump has said and done. There are plenty of people who already have. So I just think that's incredible that our so-called leader, again, he said those people. So we separate from him. We a different America. So it's time for, I guess we got to elect a new president then for us people. All right. He said that, condemning athletes who protest social injustice, but the good people from North Carolina who are putting on racist rallies, all right, they're okay. But us people can't protest a silly game? You kidding me? All right. That's all I got to say about it.
The only thing I'm going to say is, oh, man. NFL, tomorrow is an important day. Tomorrow is an important day. Tomorrow is an important day. I'm going to see your true colors tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the next week, man. I want to see Kaepernick signed in the next week because they are a team that are in desperate need of a quarterback. And I want to see a stance by the players for some type of change. Make an inch. Do something tomorrow.
Hey,
it's what I want. It's what I want to see.
Oh, yeah. Some measures have to be taken. But you know what? We're going to get on out of here, Lou. It's good to be back, man. It's good to be back.
Absolutely. The content's coming, y'all. We know you've been waiting for it. I got something cooking up. I'm not telling anybody what's coming, but, big things. That's all.
Absolutely. And as always, hashtag be great. The only place to go is up. This is a Nyan Sports. This is Can't Be Stopped. Have a good one.
Peace.